Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the build. I'm Chris. This is Van Off Grid. As promised, the last couple of weeks, my wife and I have been going out in the van and just making some trips, trying things. But the last big project I wanted to show is I want to build a DIY air conditioner. And I'll turn the camera around here in a second, show you guys my project. And this is going to probably be a couple videos at least to get this done. But I'm going to use my little refrigerator. It's basically a cooler box, like ice chest type fridge, and I'm going to use that to make some chilled water. And I have a fish tank pump that I'm going to put in a little container of water. Run some hoses to a car radiator. I bought a nice radiator for a Honda Civic off of Amazon, and that radiator will get super chilled from the cold water flowing through it. And then I'm gonna put 5 120 millimeter computer fans on the back side of the radiator, and that's gonna give me some good wind through it, cool down the air. And I think on the front of it I should get a good volume of air, and it's gonna be cold. I can control my fridge over there. It's Bluetooth and it's a full range of controls on it, but I can take the temperature all the way down to 0, and it'll actually make ice, but I don't want the water, of course, to freeze. So I'll probably run it just above 0 and have super cold water. This is my cat. He's always hanging out with me. He likes to come in the videos. He kind of freaks out when I'm talking because like I'm the only one here talking, and he's looking around like, who am I talking to? But anyway, the concept is basically just use the radiator to cool down some cold water, put some wind through it, and just recirculate this water. And I'm going to just use the fridge, like I said, as the cooling source. And I got a space in the fridge that I can work with. That's not going to take up the bulk of the capacity of it for food. So that's going to be pretty cool. One thing with the fridge, there is one place where I don't know where the condenser core goes all in the fridge, and I have to make some holes through it. And if I mess that up, then I just destroyed the whole fridge, and it's hundreds of dollars, for this thing. I will just literally destroy it, and I'll have to buy another one. But there was one place I turned it on before, and I could feel where the condenser core is embedded in the walls of it all the way around, and that section of the interior gets really cold, and like above it and below it, it was just normal plastic temperature. So anyway, I think I know where it is and how I can avoid it and drill some holes through it. But like I said, I don't know what's inside. I don't have a diagram or schematic of it, so if I mess this up, I literally destroyed it. So it's kind of a little bit nerve-wracking. I really like my fridge. I don't want to have to go spend hundreds to buy another one, but it's still cheaper than spending many hundreds to go out and just buy an air conditioner. And then if I were to do that, I would have to drill holes in the van for the hot air vent, for the water vent, and I just don't want to keep drilling holes in it. So anyway, we're gonna go with this concept. I'm gonna turn the camera around here. I'll show you guys what I got so far, and then I'm totally impromptu making this up. I don't know for sure if it's gonna work. I think it will. I believe it will. And simple concept of wind blowing through a super chilled radiator will produce some cold air on the other side of it. That's just my idea. Later I may have some condensation problems and other things I got to worry about. I have no idea yet, until I get to that point. So right now we'll just start building. This is my radiator. It's for a Honda Civic, and it's pretty cool. It's just the right size I need it to handle 5 fans. You can kind of see through there. Holds about 2 liters of water, and I went ahead and I put these PVC fittings on it. So these fittings right here, I had to heat them up with my heater gun. They were a little bit undersized, and once I heat them up, and I don't know if you guys know this, but PVC is totally malleable once you make it hot. And I mean, you can take a straight pipe and bend it 90 degrees and it won't crack. Just heat it up, bend it, and then it'll dry and become like a custom made pipe. So you can kind of see how it's flared out in the light right there. So that's permanently on there. I mean, you can't pull it off now. So this one too on the bottom. So the water will come in there on the bottom, it'll fill up, it'll come out the top, and then it'll return to my refrigerator through these hoses right here. 2 hoses, one in, one out. And I'm gonna take off this housing right here, make some holes in here, and inside of there's a place where I'm going to drill some holes through and through. So these hoses will run through the side all the way through the whole box here into the interior. And then underneath here, this space under here is where I'm going to have my container filled with water. And inside of that container will be, this is a 500 liter per hour fish tank pump. And I tried it out, it's pretty powerful. I actually connected a hose to it, and it'll push water, you know, about 4 feet high, which is what I need, because the radiator here will be on my bed, like a corner of the bed that we're not using. And this is going to be underneath the stove in the van, so it's going to have to push up about 3 feet. So another thing I'm going to do, I have a check valve. This is a check valve. So a check valve, it only allows flow one way. It's not bidirectional. So anyway, water will go in one way but not come through the other way. And so my idea with this is I'm going to put it here, piece of hose, and it will come here on the bottom somewhere just before the inlet. And it is going to help the pump will push water in, and it'll fill up and then come out the top and return back into the fridge. But this will, like if I stop the pump, for example, or lose power or something, the water's not going to gravity feed out of this hose and then just basically flood the inside of the fridge. So anyway, this is called a check valve. This is gonna save the day right here. And I have a switch here. This is going to be this is going to be fan speed. It's basically low, medium, high. It's got a nice click to it. So click it on, and then as I just slowly adjust the dial, I'll get more fan speed. So this is going to be my actual sort of temperature control based on how much wind the fans are going to be pushing. So that's kind of cool. I have a thermometer also that's digital that is going to be wired with all of this in the box. But anyway, I don't it didn't arrive yet. I ordered it. I thought I'd get it today, but unfortunately it just didn't show up. It's life living on an island. I got to order everything like this that's unique, and some stuff I just got to wait for it. So fans, nothing special. These are just cheap 12-volt fans. Alright, I put a towel on the floor. I don't want to get any glue on the floor. So I'm just going to basically go around like this and just fill in the edge here as best as I can. And just let that gravity feed into the little cavity there and seal it up. While the glue is drying, we're going to go ahead and remove this housing right here. And there it is, guys. We have a hole through and through for a hose to go in there. Now I'm more confident to make another one right in here, and that'll give me what I need for the 2 hoses. So I think we're just gonna be all right. All right, guys, here is the holes through and through. Perfect for 2 holes to fit there, for the water to pass through, and then it's just gonna come through. I just want to be careful. I don't want to pull any wires. It will come through the housing right here. I'm just gonna take my Dremel tool and I'm gonna cut these couple of these little vents off right here. Dremel tool buzz them, and that will be that. And the holes will just stay, you know, they'll come out here. And the cool thing is as we slide out the cabinet and the camper van, the whole fridge will slide out and whatnot and back in. The holes they'll just move with it, and they're gonna come this way behind it and go up against the wall, and then take a right and then run behind the sink and everything and run back to the bed area, to the radiator there. So, well, that is it for now. The glue's still not dry, so there's not much more I can do. Let me just touch it again. Yeah, it's getting tacky though. Probably another hour, I'll be able to flip that over, and I'll go ahead and do the fans. I'm just gonna go for it. Again, you just gotta full send sometimes, you know. And it's just gonna rest like that. Like that. Well, I got all the fans in right now. This is just gonna be a test. Everything is adhesive down. It's just gonna let it sit overnight. A little bit of glue here and there just to kind of reinforce it. I got the wires connected here on the breakout board. This is a DC to DC booster. I'm not going to need this in my van because it's, you know, I have a huge battery that's going to be driving this with all the power, you know, amps and 12 volts needed. But so I don't need this. But for right now, just to test it, I have my just an iPhone charger here. It's only 5 volts. So instead of just going 5 volts in, the DC to DC booster here, these things are pretty convenient. You can buy a pack of these for like less than 20 bucks, but it's any amount almost coming in from about 2 volts in this little blue box right here. It actually is a potentiometer, and this you can crank up the volts from 2 all the way up to 24 on the out. So these are 12 volt fans. Of course, I don't want to over voltage them or nothing. So anyway, right now I have it on about 7 volts is what I multimetered it at. So the fans are just barely running just over half speed, but just to show you what it would look like when it's on. So that's only, like I said, barely half speed. So in the van, these are gonna rip big time. So so yeah, I like it. Once those are spinning at full speed and the radiator is super chilled at about 1 to 2 degrees with the water running through it, I think this is gonna work very, very well. Alright guys, well that's a wrap for the first video here. We're just going to let the glue set up, the silicone bond adhesive set up. There's nothing else I can do at this point, so we got a lot of progress made, and I'm really pleased with how it's looking so far. Tomorrow will be some new challenges, I'm sure, but we'll get it done. With that, you guys, appreciate you again sticking with me for this one. All the subscribers out there. I had quite a few newcomers this month. I appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel. You know, I'm glad that you like that, you know, the content that I have to offer. So, you know, like I said, I'm not an expert in anything. Have no skill set in any of this construction stuff or building anything. I just have an idea. I'm just doing it, and you know, I encourage anybody to go out there and do the same thing. You know. You'll be amazed what you can actually build and accomplish if you just put your mind to it. So with that, we'll see you guys on the second video, and you guys take care out there.